Dinner's over and it was delicious. And remember, this is not a dinner party. This is the beginning of forming a network, so it doesn't have to be fancy. Don't stress yourself out any more than you already have dealing with dementia over having this social occasion. And some of you may not be as social as others are. It may feel uncomfortable for you to invite people over. It just may not be the way you live your life. One of the issues that I found is that my life has changed since I had dementia. I would like to live my life the way it was, but I can't. And to deny that it hasn't changed is to deny what life really is. And not to respond to it and pretend like it isn't there is not very healthy for you or for people around you. So one of the things we have to demonstrate to people and suggest to them is they're going to have to change some of the rules that they've evolved over the course of their relationship. They may not be used to going out and meeting new people. We did that when we were 20 or 30 or 40. It's time to do it again. And if you've never done it, it's time to start out. Now, where do you find people for your social network? Well, you don't find them all at your doctor's or through your doctors. You can find them at the Alzheimer's Association. You can find one person in your church who has dementia, who maybe knows another person. You may even find somebody who's a member of a social group of people who have dementia. They do exist. If you live out in the country, in a more rural area, it will be more difficult for you to find people. That's where your doctor, who kind of collects people who need this social support network, will help you out. So we're through with dinner. Give them the packet that I gave you. Now in that packet is some traditional information that everyone who is diagnosed needs. A little explanation of what a living will is, where they might find examples of those, an explanation of why you need a will, a power of attorney, a little information about a medic alert, what do they call this, a bracelet, a list of government websites that are pretty objective in terms of their information about dementia. It's kind of a starter kit for people. Give that to them, and you might go through it with them one at a time so they understand how it played an important role in your life. Let's see, what else do I have to cover here? Oh, the future. What are you going to do next with these folks? What are you going to suggest? Well, that's up to you, really. You may not like them. That's a possibility. They may not like you. But you certainly need each other. So I would assume that you're going to continue this relationship. I would try to find out what some interests that they have and perhaps offer to participate with them in something that they have an interest in. Go to their church, go over to their house, have a barbecue with them, invite them to your group if you're already in a group. But look for ways, give people options that they might continue this relationship. I think you have to talk to people outside of what's happening today. You have to talk about the National Dementia Support Network and why you choose to be a member of it. Offer them the opportunity to be a member of it too. Tell them how it works. But don't let them leave there without some sort of commitment, either up or down, about are we going to do this again? Except if they seem hesitant. If they seem hesitant, then just let it drop. Yeah, we'll see you again, maybe. But call them. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to them to at least follow up with them. Let yourself feel good that you're helping other people, because that's what you're doing. But in helping other people, you're also helping yourself. There's 3 selves that suffer when you're diagnosed with dementia. your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and your self-awareness. Participating in a program like this addresses all of those selves, and it does it in a very human, personal way. This is also a way to educate and support your physician. Doctors don't know everything, and they don't know much really about dementia, and they know even littler about how to deal with people with dementia. By you humanizing this process, it helps your doctor as well as yourself and the other people in your network. It's time that we take responsibility and control over what's happening to us. As I thought about why I cried so much, why I have all this knot in my stomach, it's about losing control of yourself. Some of it is imagined, that we really do control what happens to us, and some of it is real. But what happens to people with dementia, I have seen, is they give up all control of themselves. They sit and they have a conversation with somebody, and someone will ask them a direct question, and they'll actually turn to their caregiver for the caregiver to answer in their stead. While we still have the ability to focus, to attend to what's going on around us, it's our responsibility to ourselves to exercise that as much as we can. And that's what I call taking responsibility for yourself. Let's see. Oh, and you should go back to your physician. Either call them, well, no. You should send them a note first. You should write a handwritten thank you note. I know it's an old-fashioned idea, but instead of just sending them an email. But when you write a handwritten note, people are impressed by that, and they'll pass it along to the doctor. So each of you, you and your spouse, or you and your caregiver, write a handwritten note, send it to the couple who came to your house, and send one note to the doctor, thanking him for it. And then ask him for another referral, if this is what you choose to do to expand your network. I went over what's in the packet. Oh, what this is not. This is not a new form of therapy. This is not a pyramid system whereby you go out and recruit people, and they go out and recruit people, and other people go out and recruit people, and they all send money to me. This is about building a social support network. And to my knowledge, no one else focuses on this. So it's time that we focused on this. This is a revolutionary idea that people with dementia can be responsible for themselves after the diagnoses, just like you were responsible for yourself before the diagnoses. This is a revolutionary idea that people with dementia, even in the deepest stages of dementia, are still whole people, still have a need to be loved. And simply because when you knock on their door and they don't answer, they're still home. You just assume that they aren't. Well, we don't want to start that process any earlier than it has to. And you do it by being engaged, I think. I personally believe the reason I have lived with the diagnosis as long as I have, and the symptoms have been as minimal as they have been in my life, is because I found this is a purpose. This is what gets me up in the morning. This is what makes me happy inside. I feel good about what I'm doing. After you quit your job, I'm not sure people have another purpose. That's another issue that you need to address. It's another issue and another reason why you need a social network. Now, I have a few more things, practical things I have to talk to you about this network, and I'll do that in the next session. Thanks.